Hi guys, welcome to our first edition of the Mile High Muscle Talk Show. Sarah Hurley, Mr. Dylan Armbruster. Our main focus of this radio show and talk show is to focus on the great things happening at the Mile High Mecca, the many pro athletes as well as amateur athletes in the Colorado area, as well as those things happening throughout the world. Really, we have athletes from Colorado competing locally, nationally, worldwide. I think it's important, and that's what we want to, showcase.
Yeah.
The amazing things that are coming out of Colorado.
I think we're both all out and about. We travel a lot, and you're getting bombarded with questions. I'm getting bombarded with questions. What's going on in your gym? What's going on in Colorado?
Yeah.
So, Sarah and I, been talking about this for quite some time now, and we finally put it together, and we hope, we can bring you guys the information you bombard us with, and, hope it's entertaining and helpful and useful. We're going to, go have guests. We're going to talk about supplementation. We're going to talk about training. We're going to talk about the Mile High City and its athletes and everything else.
I think we have. We do have to find out these facts. The most pro athletes or IFBB pro athletes than any other state, I believe.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good talent out here,
and we just want to, like I said, put a spotlight on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Those many athletes, and what better time of year, really? Not too far after the Olympia. Obviously, we're a few weeks removed from that, but. What a great time to focus on. I think we had 7 athletes.
Seven athletes.
From Colorado that competed this year. I mean, that's a high number.
Yeah, 7 and 6 that train right here. We are filming here from Armbrust Pro Gym, Mile High Mecca, and 6 of them came from here, which, I think is really...
It's cool.
It's very honorable for me, so I got to talk about it.
Obviously. And let's start with, the obvious. Phil Heath taking home his 4th title. A lot of controversy. We don't necessarily need to get into that. I think.
Yeah, I think as athletes, you try to get people off their game, and I think that's a lot of what was going on. I don't think maybe any disrespect was intended, even though a lot of people think was. I think it was just a thing of trying to get somebody off his game. But Phil, he's so good that it's just he's.
His nickname is correct.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
you're not going to get him off his game.
And I think that's what upsets Kai the most. Because, gifted. I mean, he truly is incredibly gifted, okay?
Really is.
And so, I hear a lot of times people say, he worked so hard and they work so hard. Well, we all work hard, number one, okay? That doesn't win a show, how hard you work or where you've come from. So I think I've had my ups and downs in my life, so I definitely respect Kai sort of pulling himself up from the bootstraps. He did not have necessarily the story. He has a totally different story than Phil has, and I think that's where you get those two fan bases. Yeah. Well, kind of.
Phil was, he has his story too. He wasn't given everything. Nothing was, fed to him through a golden spoon. He really had to fight through. We watched him grow as an athlete.
True.
He's, really grown into a really great, champion.
I mean, you don't come from Division I basketball, okay, or I don't know what division DU is, but you don't come from playing basketball, okay, to being a professional bodybuilder without some hard work.
Absolutely.
So that was my only, I'm a little disappointed that, sort of the masses will see some of that, I guess, the excitement of the moment.
Right.
But I was a little disappointed. And actually, from some of the things that Kai has spoken about since then, I think he's going to rethink his approach.
You tell me he's going to be like trying to get Phil Heath hugs.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. But, at the end of the day, it is nice to see sort of some excitement and passion around it for sure. So congratulations, obviously, Phil Heath. He, of course, this is his home gym, home of Mr. Olympia, so it's pretty cool. Obviously, Alina Popa, which she will be our first guest, placing second. Again, amidst some controversy too.
Yeah, there's always controversy. You can say there's controversy in every place. But the matter of the fact is she's second best in the world. She has been for 2 years, and she's knocking on that door. And
yeah, she is.
We'll find out later if she plans on slowing down.
Oh, man. I hope we see her back on that stage. She really is such an amazing ambassador for women's body. But I just hope that we see women's bodybuilding, in the Olympia next year. Because there's some talk that it may be removed. I think that would be a shame. And in regards to the other categories, I really feel this year more than anything, the judging was spot on. They didn't necessarily go with always who they go with. They really made some bold moves. Of course, Adela retiring, that was huge. Again, another champ,
Absolutely.
that has done amazing things for the sport. And Oksana, I mean, what a beautiful athlete in general, but what a beautiful display of muscle and athleticism. I mean, creativity, all of that. Nicole Wilkins again coming in strong in women figure. I mean, amazing. And then of course the upset, I think, of the year, but I might be a little partial to women's physique, but Dana Lynn Bailey not winning again this year and doing it the way that she took second place.
Very classy.
Was
very classy.
Really, I really give her props. She came in better.
She did come in better. She made improvements.
She made the changes she needed to.
I think Dana's weakness is just the shape. She has her body from her waist down. It's what hurts her. And, it was better this year, and I'm sure she'll continue to improve on it. She's just got a really good, personality about her. Where she's in this to have fun, guys. And she's going to have fun with it, and that's the only reason she's here. And that's what, we really like to see, On the other hand, Juliana was. I'll tell you what.
People really. It's woof. She's my favorite from the standpoint of just beautiful full muscle bellies. Her. People complain at TED about her size, which I hope people understand. She's 118 pounds.
I think a lot of people mistake size for shape.
Yeah.
When you have really great shape and great symmetry, the size appears to be there, and that's what people need to understand that the judges are looking for. If you really know how to read symmetrical lines on a body, then if you really want to learn, just look at Juliana's body, and it all ties together. So don't mistake symmetry and shape for size, guys. Okay, that is a well put together body, and it's not bodybuilding.
I actually think that would be a great topic for another show. Just all of these words that get used. Right. Full is not deconditioned.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Size, symmetry, shape. It can be very confusing for people or for athletes trying to change or listen to what the judges say and come in differently. So I think that's a great. Let's remember that because But I mean, she did what the judges asked. She came in 8 pounds lighter, I believe was the number this year.
We had Colorado favorite Jacqueline Sutton in 12th place this year, her first Miss Olympia.
Oh yeah, is her trainer did big things.
So
obviously,
I was really excited for her. We also had Heather Grace in 14th, I believe.
I think she was.
I think she's a little disappointed coming off the Tampa Pro win, but I'm sure she'll learn from her mistakes and move forward. And then we had Kamala Rodriguez in figure, which I think she was a little disappointed.
I think she was a lot disappointed. Kamala was touted as being really a top 3 or at least top 5 contender. Yes. I don't think Kamala was at her best this year. There's no denying her look and her shape for sure. But those girls, they were on this year. I felt figure was a little tighter even than last year.
The Olympia, you're always going to, what you got to remember if you compete in the Olympia, just from my experience seeing it over the past 10 years, being there for 10 years straight, it's a whole different game. And you better bring a little bit more conditioning than what you think you should, no matter what division you're doing.
Absolutely. I thought, Crystal Matthews, Sandy Forsythe, a couple of bikini athletes. Again, I would put Crystal, Sandy, as well as like a Krista Dunn.
Krista Dunn was just a surprise to me. She looked really good up there this year. I think she'll move up in the future.
Well, you're looking at the best of the best. So I know I would probably speak for those 3, saying that it was a true honor for them to be there. And to be considered among the best of the best. So what an honor. We didn't miss anybody, did we?
I sure hope not, because we'll be hearing.
I know. We don't want to get in trouble. But seriously, what a showing for Colorado in the Olympia this year. And you'll see, those of you that know, that train at the Mile High Mecca, you see those guys running around here all the time.
Yes.
It just says so much about the atmosphere that we have here at the gym. Obviously, the atmosphere that you promote, it's a really positive place. It's really all about just supporting.
Well, we've both of us have been around this industry for more than 20 years. We know what it was like in the 80s, the 90s. We've seen the sport literally do this with the different characters that come in and out.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
We're able to, I'm able to put that into the energy out there in the gym, and that's just kind of what I try to do.
So how amazing, if you don't already, obviously come down. We get a lot of people on the weekends that it's kind of like destination, right? To train legs or to come down to the Mile High Mecca on the weekends. But it's pretty, how motivating is that to be surrounded by 7 or more
Olympians,
current and or, previous Olympians at your gym? I know I'm motivating so many people right now.
Maybe you can let people in on that, because she just didn't have like a 6,000 calorie.
Yes, that off season.
Was that pizza last night?
I'm actually almost ready to give birth. It could happen here. That would be exciting. But
please not here.
No. You would be mortified. But yeah.
That'd be good for good TV though.
Yeah, it would. Ratings would go up. So I'm expecting. Obviously, I'm prepping for my first child now.
Prepping for your first child.
Yeah, but truly, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. It was really challenging for me beginning to go from 7% body fat and compete. Placed 3rd in the Olympia last year, of course, as you know, my trainer, and to obviously the happiest news of my life.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm 39, so it's something that I've been waiting on for a long time. But so now I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
And in that light, will we all see you on a stage again?
It's a great question. I don't have a definitive answer for that, but I think so. We'll talk to Alina about this later, but when you have sort of, I don't want to, again, call it necessarily a gift, but a passion, and you really have an outlet, and I think, God has given you sort of a talent or an ability.
Yes.
I really feel like you have to go after that and utilize that. Did I give it away? Did I give away the answer? So I think I'll be back. But I'm still training my team and training people here at the gym. But I'm not going anywhere. This sport I've been in this industry since I was 15 years old, started lifting, so way back when. And I'm not going anywhere. As freaky as, like you said, some of the characters in this sport are, I wouldn't trade it for the world, and I love it. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That'll be, that's a wrap, and we come back, we'll have a guest for you, and we'll go from there.
They say there are no secrets in bodybuilding. That to stand next to the best in the world, it takes brutally hard work, discipline, dedication, the ability to push yourself to a level you never thought was possible. That's all true, but there are still some secrets. This is mine.
So welcome back, you guys. Look who's here. It's Miss Alina Popa, 2nd place at the Olympia this year, 2014. But more importantly, it's her birthday today. So happy birthday.
So that's more important than Olympia.
I think so. I mean,
of course, if I was not born, I would have been in Olympia, right?
That's right. You got to be born before.
We won't ask her. We won't ask her on camera how old she is.
I'm 36.
See.
I have no problem.
Okay,
saying
full
my
disclosure on the Mile High Muscle Talk show. So, my heart never broke more than this year watching sort of the results. I know, sorry. And I think I speak for a lot of people in Colorado and female fans, bodybuilding fans. But I want to ask you.
If my heart broke or what?
Yes. How did you feel? Let's just get to how did you feel about your placing this year?
My heart kind of broke a little bit still. Obviously, I have prepared to go there and win. And I do believe that night I had a better shape on stage. So, it was kind of disappointing. I mean, of course, I respect Iris, and she came in a better shape than last year. Her back was improved, and there are some points where she was better, points where I was better. So I was honestly hoping to win it,
Of course.
and it was a little disappointment, but it's life, so it's competing. It's like that. We have to accept whatever comes, right?
That's
It's not
right.
in our hands. All
Yeah.
we can do is diet and keep our routine till the end, and then we give the choice to somebody else.
And let's just state the obvious too. Obviously, as you said, it kind of went a bit like this. I kind of saw it a little bit more like this. I don't know about you, but the fact is, obviously, she's retiring. I think, let's just be honest, that might have played obviously into the part of the decision making this year, to respect, a 10-time champion.
Yeah,
What do you think about
you
that?
can't deny that. She's been a great champion for over a decade, and can't take that away from her. And she's made history. So now it's
Big history.
Nina's turn to figure out what she wants to do next year and move forward. And
Yeah, that's a question, right?
Yeah.
That we're all waiting.
right.
But first, before we get to your answer on what you're doing, is how do you see, or what do you see the future for women's bodybuilding? Because I think it's kind of up in the air as far as we all know, correct?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's up in the air, and I have to say that I don't believe that female bodybuilding as a competitive class can go anywhere. Of course, if nobody's competing at amateur level, so they can turn pro, the class is gonna fade out. But there are so many women out there like me. I could never do physique. I'm a big girl. All I do is look at the weights and eat protein, and I grow.
This
Not
is true.
really. Not really. I have to lift the
Do a
weights
little
as
bit,
well.
yeah.
But we are big girls with a lot of muscles, and that's our genes. So there's always going to be women out there that cannot fit into the physique class, and they like to be big and muscular.
Yeah.
So I find it appropriate that everybody has a platform to compete.
Absolutely. And this is the history. This is where we began. So for me, I've been following since I was 15, the muscle mags and female bodybuilding. That's how we all got started. So
through bodybuilding, absolutely.
to me, it would be a shame. I think the logical answer is, maybe take it off the main stage based on the popularity, right? So I think from a business standpoint, that makes sense, right? But I just think getting rid of it altogether is a true shame.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's kind of up to the powers to be and powers that are.
Is that a Robin Chang answer or a IFBB answer? Do you know?
I could not.
I don't
tell
know
you.
either.
I have no idea.
I don't know the necessary but regardless, so next year, let's hope and pray. Let's cross our fingers.
I guess you're going to have our answer in, a month or
Yeah, at the national conference or national meetings in Miami.
Yeah. But what is, we've had some conversations since you've come back from Las Vegas. You've been emotionally up and down. Maybe you could tell the fans where you are as far as your decision in your future of bodybuilding.
Or in your trainer, too. Maybe
I should know what's going on next year.
Obviously, yes. Well, it took me about a week to get over it and get out of the hole. Because, of course, it created a lot of emotions. And I was quite upset. But I have to say that I received so many encouraging messages from fans and from female bodybuilders, and not only
not
all
only
kinds of
fans,
athletes.
I might add legends. So Linda Murray, Bev France. I mean, you have so many legends that feel that you are the face or the next face. Sorry to interrupt you, but
that's true.
it's not only just fans.
You're right,
It's true legends.
Yeah, and I was saying fans. You said true legends, and I'm saying also different kind of athletes at whatever classes, starting from bikini to, or even amateurs just lifting weights in the gym. I received a tremendous feedback, and I realized that I really make an impact, and I just cannot step back because it's not a responsibility, but somehow it is. It's like a more responsibility because I know that I have the face and I have the body that people would like to see that and follow. And I mean, I'm being completely very humble when I say that. I'm not like stuck up or anything. I really.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about being humble. When you say
Anybody
you're
that
humble,
knows
it's
you
like-
for 5 minutes knows that.
Yes. No, I'm really. I should put it in better words. I'm humbled by everybody's reaction to this contest, and well, I have decided in short, I will compete again next year, given there's a platform out there, and I will try to, take female bodybuilding to new peaks, and set up a new image. If it's the time for a new champion, I'm gonna fight to be the one.
Well, you have
All set.
a whole state, as well as obviously, I think we're probably the two happiest people to hear that news. And I think you bring up a really great point of why do we compete? And I think it's really important as new competitors or people that have competed a long time. You've got to get to the point. Sometimes the sacrifice is greater than the reward, and that's probably time to step away. But when you start looking at a greater impact on people than a trophy or some money, and when you focus on that, that's when I think I think it's important to do that as an amateur, as somebody doing their first show, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's going to show up on that day, what's going to happen, and it does not negate the impact that you have on people,
You're right.
first or second.
I think you really have to go into the sport with pure passion because, let's face it, unless you're Mr. Olympia or maybe those top 3 Olympians that are in the men's division, you're not going to really make any money in the sport. It's your job to, make your, build yourself as an individual and make your money off that, whatever that may be. You go get judged by these shows. I can remember back in the day where I thought, why didn't they choose me?
Yeah.
But
Look at the pictures.
as you grow,
Right.
you look back on things, hindsight 2020. You realize, these judges have been doing this for years,
Yeah.
and they know what they see. They see talent come and go every day, and so they have their reasons for what they do. You may not always agree, but in the background, in the hindsight of it, you gotta market yourself. You've gotta, I've known so many people that have never even reached a pro level and that are very successful in this business. They're just, creating things to help other people and the information and growing and stuff like that. So.
And I know I speak from so many, like I said, people in Colorado, bodybuilding fans, female competitors that I think, and sometimes you actually gain followers getting second, right?
Yeah.
Because people are definitely behind you and want to see you continue. So, but you also brought up a really great point on the success of female bodybuilding has to start at the amateur level. So I do believe, and I don't have the facts on this, but I do believe the numbers were up this year, actually, surprisingly. It was at Masters Nationals in the female bodybuilding. So, so that's kind of the call, right? If you've got to support it. I would say the same thing is happening in pro fitness, too. You're just, promoters will do shows and, there's 8 competitors. Well, from a business standpoint, they can't run businesses like that, So you bring up a really good point. All you ladies with, a lot of muscle, get out there.
That's it.
Get in the gym. Who inspired you growing up?
Landa Murray.
Yeah.
I guess she was an inspiration for many female bodybuilders, many athletes in this field.
And I know she is a huge fan of yours.
Which is it's unreal,
Yeah.
surreal.
And I really love Linda's approach. I remember a few years ago at the Masters and Legends Olympia, she really spoke about her sort of disdain for women's female bodybuilding getting so big. And I really loved what she had to say about keeping it where it was in the 80s and the 90s, much more sort of feminine, which obviously you bring to the table in droves. How is women's bodybuilding? So where did you come? Obviously, we love that you're here. But where did you come from? I know everyone's not sure about the accent, but so give us a little bit of like how is women's bodybuilding different, maybe growing up for you, than it is here in the States?
That was back in the late 90s, early 2000 when I started back in Romania, my native country. And at that time, we only had, I think it was about like here, female bodybuilding and fitness. So with a choreographed routine and obviously I wouldn't fit into fitness, so I did bodybuilding. I think we actually had a pretty successful female bodybuilding movement back then. We had 3 weight classes, and they were quite full, all of them.
So you started in '98.
Yeah, I started training in '98, and my first show was in 2000.
And what did you do before that?
I did track and field with 12.
Oh, nice.
12.
That's where the butt comes from. I got it now. I got it.
How about the legs?
Yeah, exactly. So '98 in Romania, and then you made a few other moves before you got here.
Yeah, in 2006 I moved to Switzerland. I lived there 5 years. And then I got in touch with Mr. Armbrust here in 2011. And he invited me over in his gym. Actually, he just wanted a signed autograph. And I invited myself to the gym.
So you came specifically to train with
Yes,
Dylan.
Yeah.
I did. And I did the best.
Pressure was on.
Right? Don't worry.
choice.
She's just moving
Yeah.
across the world.
Coming halfway across the world to try to become a world champion. Okay.
And it worked.
Yes.
Wow, that says a lot.
That's
honestly.
my place. That's my home.
But you have some other exciting news coming up this year, some things that you've been maybe putting off for a while. So tell us about that.
Oh yeah, I'm finally getting to go to attend the culinary arts school here
Yeah.
in Boulder, Colorado. I've been trying to do it for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Thought to go to California. I was in Seattle for a while. But I decided to stay here, so I'm going to school, and I'm just trying to sometime later, to mix my 2 passions, bodybuilding and cooking.
And I think we can both attest. I think we have a strong future.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
a good cook, so
Uh-huh.
I don't have any doubt in your success in the future.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you to, like you said, blend the two.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I mean, it's
can definitely blend it.
Definitely a popular thing nowadays, you know, sort of healthy
Sure.
meal prep
Mhm.
and getting food to taste better. It doesn't have to be, you know, chicken and broccoli out of a bag,
Exactly.
which is good. So anytime you need samplers
Yeah.
or
Taste
Guinea
tests.
Guinea pigs.
we're happy.
Guinea
Yes.
pigs.
Yes. Guinea pig. So
Don't you imitate
I
my
know,
accent.
I know. So
Dish.
how do you know, because, so we'll see you on stage at the Olympia next year, barring obviously that they have an Olympia. And how do you, you know, I know how I perceive you, and I think many others, but how do you want to be perceived or remembered as an athlete?
That's a good question. I like that.
That's a very good question. And I have this image of myself with a ripped, muscular body, but still curvaceous.
Curvaceous.
Curvaceous, with
Wow.
nice feminine flowing curves. And I think I have managed to attain that.
Yes.
Attain that. And I guess that's part of my genes, so all I have to do is work around that, and I'm just working on quality. Keeping my
So that's your
femininity,
body,
that's it, yeah.
right?
Just
But-
present my body.
But I would even go further because I think you surprise people so much when they meet you that, you know, you're so different than maybe they would perceive. I think that's the challenge with carrying a lot of muscle or being in women's bodybuilding, right? They perceive you as a certain way. But I actually was speaking more about like you as an athlete, as how you are remembered or perceived from a, you know, even more than that. Like, what do you want to leave people with? How do you want to inspire them? Or
I think, as I said, that the biggest impact I can make is with my shows, right? Because if I compete, I reach so many thousands of people or more. And in person, I can only meet so many people, a limited amount of people, right? So it's I can work a lot with my image and what I present on the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, or even as an everyday life,
Yeah.
as you say now. Nowadays, we have a lot of this social media stuff that we can work with. I'm not the best at it, I admit.
I know. I keep trying to tell her, post more, post more.
I'll be posting me in school cooking. How about that?
Okay, good.
You
That's
testing
good.
it?
That's good. That's good. That's good. We will do that. But what do you like? What do you feel like people don't know about you that?
They know what they need to know.
Okay, good.
I like that answer. Too.
I like that.
That's good.
I'll tell you when I want to tell you. No. So what's your sort of favorite cheat meals fan moment? Let us in a little bit. So it's your birthday today.
Yeah.
You had a little bit last night after your guest posing
Yes.
at the Colorado Natural.
That was
So will
awesome.
you, indulge today, or do you think about that, or not really?
Probably I'm gonna have a birthday cake. Yes.
Oh, birthday cake. Okay.
Yes, a small one.
The small.
Small.
She looks at me. I'm like, we got nothing.
Yeah,
to
I
do.
know.
Whatever the hell you want.
So that's it. But otherwise, like in your off season and things like that, you obviously stay pretty darn close.
Yes.
Calories.
You have to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you cannot just go all the way and eat
Yeah.
all the time outside. So most of the time I'm just cooking my food. I'm trying to follow my, certain amount of protein and then some carbs or some fats and proteins. I'm trying to combine things like that. Just
And your
playing with
off
my
season
fantasy.
regimen, as far as like cardio and lifting, is pretty close to what you were doing.
Well, not really. I'm not doing cardio every day. Maybe I do 3 times a week. 30, 40 minutes. I do believe it's gotta be especially in the cardio department, it's gotta be a difference. If you do off season an hour of cardio a day, what you gonna do on your diet?
Exactly. And clearly, you've gotten to where you are, and you've sustained that look, and not only sustained it, but improved upon it each year. And that only comes from rest, pulling back.
Pulling back.
I mean, you could talk about that.
How it is.
Yeah.
Even as a pro, you got to find balance in your life, because if you don't, the strains of go every day will just ruin you and burn you out. So you've got to really balance it out and live a little bit too. But you can, as we all know, you can do that. It's just finding it. And
Well, and
it's
I
very
think
tough for some people. To
As
find it.
competitors, right, we want to keep this lean, ripped look all the time, and I think the people that have the most longevity in the sport, you cannot have that look all year round. And I see even new competitors coming up wanting. Well, I'm bulky, but I don't have a six pack. Well, that's what you have to do to have a better package the next time that you step on stage.
Absolutely.
Which is really, really critical.
I agree with you.
But it's that fine line between just throwing it all out the
Exactly,
window,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
I would say the moment when you start eating, junk food and not calculating your calories and figuring out it's 3,000 calories in this meal, more or less, then that's when you throw everything out the
3,000
window.
calories in one
I'm
meal.
just talking,
Okay.
eating like that. Yeah. I mean,
I think
I'm
I did
just
that
saying.
last night.
I know. I'm like,
That was my cheat
It's
meal.
your cheat meal. All right, 3,000 calories.
and
It's easy.
It
You go to Cold Stone, you have like 1,500 in an ice cream, and then you stop, have a whatever burger and fries before, or a pizza, and
Try
then
that
you're
this
there.
afternoon.
Dylan's like, I'll get back to you on that.
We wrap this up.
No, what I'm saying that as long as you try to monitor your food, it doesn't have to be like eating by a certain diet, but you have your 4 or 5 meals a day, you have your protein, you have a source of carb, and maybe a little bite of this and that, whatever you want, for your sweet tooth or whatever. You're good. You're gonna stay in a certain limit. If you start eating 3,000 or 2,000 calories in a meal without counting and making stopovers at donut places and stuff, that's when you go over the line.
So you're, other than, culinary school, I know you're training people at the gym. I just saw you in the Women's Pre-Contest Bible by Isaac Hines and Larry Pepe, which was an honor. We were both
there.
chosen to be in that,
it's
so
honor.
that was a huge honor. Anything else going on we should know about? that you're willing to tell us?
I like it. You're willing to
Yes.
I guess that's about it.
So obviously, you and Dylan will be back at it.
Yep.
When will you?
2015.
Yeah. When will you kind of, I mean, I know you don't take off, obviously, but when will you sort of start gearing up again?
Well, as soon as we leave here, I'm going to talk to her a little bit about these 3,000 calorie meals.
Yeah,
So probably right away.
Yeah.
It's not what I do, or not every day.
Anybody else you want to thank or tell your fans out there, because I know they'll be watching and they'll be anxious to hear, and I'm sure be very happy that you'll be back next year. But anything you want to tell anybody out there or anybody you want to thank? I know you've got some
Out there
sponsors.
in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have, of course, Mr. Armbrust, loyal friend, wonderful trainer, my dear friend Sarah. I have been sponsored this year by Supplement Giant in Colorado. I want to thank them. It was a wonderful working relationship, very easygoing and very convenient. So thank you guys, and everybody here in the gym. It makes a lot. This environment is it's fantastic, and I'm saying that because, as I mentioned before, I had to go work out of state for a while, and I really missed it. I was away for 3 months or 4 months, and I can see the difference in the motivation, in the way I'm pushing myself, how serious I can stay, and definitely that's the place to be if I want to focus on this goal. And thank everybody who supported me. Obviously, I wouldn't be here without you. Okay.
Good. We're glad to have you here. You guys
you.
heard it here first.
So
Alina Popa will be back next
Yes, she will be back, and if you want to see her training, she's here often. So come by the Mile High Mecca.
year. Yeah, and even if you want to train with Alina Popa,
Exactly.
she's a personal trainer here.
Exactly.
And you can actually get some really one-on-one bodybuilding tips from her.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Why Armbrust Pro Gym? This is why.
So clearly, we know what Alina's doing right now.
Yeah, she's probably doing some real damage right now. So
Yeah.
eating some pizza or something somewhere. So
Yeah,
good
right.
for her. She
All
probably
right.
deserves
So
it, but-
we're gonna finish up with just a little bit about kind of the local beat and what's going on
yeah,
here
sure.
locally, as well as what's shaking with that. Hey, I saw you training. I don't even know her name. She's got long brown hair, big, full, nice muscle.
Oh, the young girl.
Yeah.
Her name is Cammie Brown. She's actually I think she's from Chicago. She's here going to see you. And,
Oh, nice.
she used to be a gymnast, and she's just, she's that
Yeah.
young, ambitious girl that wants to be a physique girl. But
Is she one
as
of
you can see,
physique?
she's going physique.
Yeah,
and
man,
This
she
girl
can.
has some potential.
She does.
So
She
look
does.
for her to come. Really make some noise next year. That quick, it's going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. No, I'm. When you get
Right.
an Olympian like eyeing somebody, going, "Hey,
Yeah.
what is this girl? She looks great." It's fun. It's fun to see new people
Yeah, and
come
just
into the
watch
gym, and
take them to the top.
absolutely, that's cool. It'll be fun to see her. What's her Cammie?
Cammie
Brown.
Brown.
Cool.
Yeah.
See where she's going. And Karen Norland just
Norland.
last weekend placed first in the Masters at, what's that show? Titans. No, wasn't the Titans. Border States.
Border States.
And then actually finished second
In the open.
in the Open.
Yeah.
Huge. You've worked on and
I've
off with
worked
Karen
with
for a long
Karen
time.
Since she walked in the gym, and she's just this little housewife, no
Yes.
muscle on her, nothing. And she just became obsessed with this sport, and look where she's at.
How
now. So
many
it's
years
another
has
good
it
sport.
been?
I would say it's been probably
4?
4 or 5
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
I got to tell you, it has been really cool to watch Karen. like you said, literally come in kind of as a skinny housewife.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen someone work harder.
She works hard. Karen really works hard. She probably, it's one of her things where it's probably her worst enemy because she overthinks a lot of things too much. And, you know, she's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, she's a little bit
in my ass sometimes. I'm just saying that, okay? But
I think she knows that.
She knows that. We got that relationship.
Yeah.
I'm like, just look at her like, not
but
right now,
you
please.
cannot deny
No, it's a great physique.
her. Well, I wouldn't even. She didn't start with a great physique,
it's a work
but
ethic.
she has worked her ass off to put on muscle, and that's, you know, I don't think that piece as a female, putting on muscle as a female who's in her 40s, gets enough credit. Like, everybody talks about these weight loss transformations, you know what I mean? That's obvious, right? When somebody drops a lot of weight, which is challenging to do, I'm not saying that, but...
You know, we got to bring up later, because I noticed one of your Facebook posts
oh,
really
God,
grabbed a lot of
started.
negative attention there, Sarah, so that's a whole other
Everybody
thing
wants to
we
be.
need to
We'll talk about that, yeah. But putting on muscle as a female, and even a female, you know, in her 40s, that's... I just can't congratulate Karen enough for the hard work she's put in.
Just don't.
I know. I almost,
Just say,
But
keep going, Karen. Keep going.
But I mean, really, she looked great, and really proud of her. Like I said, it's just cool to see the transformation in
sure.
that long. What else is going on?
Well, you know, I'd like to take a second and just thank Evogen for, you know, their you know, part in this show and their commercial and their you know, just support the Armbrust Pro Gym. They have this new product out called Carnogen. It's a 4 blend of L-carnitine, which, you know, we all know Hani Rambotti is really great at formulating products, and I'm telling you what, the feedback I'm getting from this in the gym is just unbelievable. So
I haven't been able to take it, so...
Really, you take it before
pre-cardio,
pre-workout.
Okay.
It's just really great at, you know, converting fat to energy and you know, just burning up fat. So
the other thing, I love how
this.
his line works so well together.
Yes.
The other thing I love about you know, his specifically the EVP, is there's no stimulants. You know, I feel like people are gone a little crazy, and especially if you work out at night or later. You know, you're not looking at that kind of cracked out feeling.
Absolutely.
So, great products, Glycoject. I'm sure Karen Norland is doing her Glycoject, right?
Every client of mine, you know how.
I do.
I really.
And I'm the same. We both,
move forward. So
yeah.
There's a lot of great supplements out there, but you know, you just tend to pick your favorite, what works for you, and Evogen's been that product for my clients and myself.
It really, and Hani's done great things in the industry as well with his clients. So
why don't you tell me a little bit? I'm curious. I would like to know about this post.
So
if you haven't seen this post, why don't you explain it?
So here's the thing. I actually thought it was, you know, pretty straightforward. It is, and again, it's a dietitian. It says my pick. Okay, so it's a picture of a dietitian.
Okay.
With her various titles.
And her various titles were?
Registered dietitian, clinical dietitian, I don't even know, but she's got a few other, you know, book smarts behind her name. She happens to also have a couple of chins.
Oh, so she's a dietitian, but not a diet.
Right.
Is that what we're talking about?
Okay, so anyway, she is what I can see is a very overweight dietitian.
That's kind of like that guy Jimmy Swaggart that was on TV that preached all this religion shit back in the 80s. And he was like the devil, right?
So I, again, those of you that know, I have clients that have lost over 100 pounds. You know, obviously we support, I mean, you know, a healthy lifestyle, getting people,
absolutely.
And we've seen a lot of that here actually at the gym. Not everybody at the Mile High Mecca is a bodybuilder, okay? And we have seen amazing transformations. Obviously, we do this because we love the industry. We love helping people, okay? But this being said, I thought, so my comment was hashtag this photo of a clearly overweight dietitian. I mean, what do you think? I mean, because sometimes you and I disagree on things sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can be maybe a little blunt or maybe a little bit harsh on occasion.
Well, I think you're right on this one, and it's not meant as any disrespect to anybody or nothing, but it's like if you really want to inspire somebody, inspire them through your own doing, not just scolding somebody and not even being a part. That does nothing for anybody.
Yeah, so people were attacking me, saying I'm fat shaming people, saying that, I'm being judgmental, which again,
we all are.
Well, yeah, I think we all do.
Judgmental.
But if you're going to sit down with somebody to work on your healthy lifestyle and the food choices, shouldn't they walk the walk, talk the talk?
Well, if they're gonna show me, absolutely.
Right? It's the same thing. We see it all the time. I mean, maybe other gyms or, trainers that are out of shape. No, you can't be in contest shape all the time. You can't. Obviously, you should be able to enjoy life, and that means foods too, right? But, yeah, I was a little surprised at the feedback.
Well, one of the biggest things of being a trainer, dietitian, whatever you may be, is what we were talking about, Alina, earlier, is finding that balance. And if you got somebody that's overweight, and this isn't a knock on anybody out there that's overweight, but if you don't find that balance, you're going to be overweight your entire life. Yeah. So you got to be able to teach that balance. Otherwise, it's your clients are going to be successful. So it's all, you can know the diet, you can know the macros, you can know this, but if you don't know the real life balance and actually how to set somebody's head and program them to get through it, you're not going to do it. And if you're fat preaching this, you don't know it.
I think, and this I think goes along somewhat in our society nowadays, is, everybody gets a participation medal, okay? So I think it goes along with that, and I disagree. No offense, there's one winner. Now, that doesn't mean you're not successful if you compete as well or whatnot, but, I think we're going down the wrong road. And the other part of this is, why is it so acceptable to call people skinny?
Or
I get it all the time. I post a picture, gross, manly, disgusting, but somehow, that's somehow acceptable.
It's all judging. Everybody judges what they believe in their own mind. So it's like, I wouldn't take any of it to heart. You probably got some overweight people that were pissed off.
And to be honest, I think we need to attack this issue head on, especially if you're looking at like childhood obesity. Yeah. No, we cannot baby this issue. We cannot, and that was kind of my point. Listen, this person is overweight trying to give health advice. This just, to me, is so basic. And I think we have to call out those things versus of just, coddling everybody through everything.
Too much coddling anymore, too much. And it's got to be real, because the only way you're going to be happy in life really is, being, just following your passion. And if your passion is going to get in shape and this and that.
I just feel sometimes we get attacked for sort of our choices. But yet, and I've seen things on Facebook before where it says, eat McDonald's, nobody bats an eye, but if you open up your Tupperware, chicken and broccoli, like all of a sudden, like, you've caused this big stir and like you're seen as this freak. So,
okay.
I like being a freak. I know, I do too. So that's kind of what keeps me going.
Yeah, but I do have my McDonald's every now and then.
Wow, I did not know that.
About once every 2 months.
What do you get?
I usually get a double quarter pounder with cheese.
Okay.
And then I walk around for an hour afterwards
wishing you wouldn't have done that. Yeah. All right. Well, exposed. Dylan Armbrust exposed here.
Yes.
So we all have our weaknesses, but I just thought that was pretty interesting. Social media, sometimes gives people sort of this outlet, right, where they can just say whatever. But you know what? Let's keep being freaks. Let's keep putting it out there. And but just so you know, I'm not a judgmental person. But man,
why don't we talk, a little bit about we will be on this. The show is going to be something that's going to continue to happen. We're going to probably film about every 2 weeks for now. And feel free to submit questions to be answered on the show to Sarah Hurley's Facebook, my Facebook, even www.armbrustprogym.com. You can email there, and we'll be glad to pull your questions out, state where they came from, who they came from, and answer them. So I think this is gonna
I'm
be
excited.
a real good
Yeah.
show.
So, like I said, we just want to keep focusing on all the great things that are happening in Colorado.
Absolutely.
Here at the Mile High Mecca, of course, as well as those things happening national, worldwide. And like you said, that's great. Answering questions. Those questions maybe you've never had answered or you really want to ask. So we'll be here for that. Thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in. Like I said, we'd love your feedback, and we'll see you at the gym.